Omar Rab Yochanan. Omar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like a little past the middle of the Amud. Rab Shaya, I think we have to move away the couches from here. The oilam is sitting on the couch.
No.
We got to move out the couches. ככה לומדים תורה? בוא, תבוא לשולחן, תפתח גמרא, pay respect.
קיבלנו את המוסר.
Okay.
קיבלנו.
Yes, Reb Shaya.
קיבלנו מוסר.
That's what?
That's the reason they come.
Maybe you should serve martinis too. More people will come. Yeah. Okay. And chillent. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Omer Kadosh Baruch Hu Yova Sanhedrin v'siyatoi v'yase evus lecheskiyo l'siyatoi. Let Sanhedrin and his entire army come, and we'll make a trough. We'll make a feast for Chizkiah and his people, the animals, to eat from those bones. What does that mean? And that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remove the yoke from your neck, from Sanhedrin. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha said, because of the oil of Chizkiyahu, Hashem is going to remove the yoke of Sanhedrin that he tries to conquer Yerushalayim. Why and what zechus? Because of the oil of Chizkiyahu. Shoya dolek be'ot haknesiyos be'ot hamidroshes. Ma also, what did Chizkiyahu do? Na'atz cherev al petach beis hamedrash. He put a sword on the doorway of the beis hamedrash. V'amar kol mi she'ein yitzuk b'toyra yidoka b'cherev. Anyone who's not oisib, could you imagine if we went to people's houses right now and we mamash came and we said yidaker b'cherev? If you don't come to the shiur, yidaker b'cherev. Oh va'avoy, this place would be packed. Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
FBI gonna come to
unbelievable. Betach. Yeah. So the Gemara says, Kol mi she'ein yitzuk b'toyra yidoka b'cherev. And what happened? Botku midon va'ad Beersheva v'lemotza Amoros, and they didn't find an Amoretz because everybody was a Talmud Chochem in Chizkiyahu HaMelech's days. Migvaz va'ad Antifchaz v'lemotza Tinik v'Tanoikes ish v'isha shelo hayu bekir b'ilchas Tumah v'Tahara. No woman, no child didn't know the halachas of Tumah v'Tahara. Could you imagine? So many Talmidei Chachamim. So Sefer Hasidim asks, what do you mean? We know the Gemara says that if somebody teaches a woman Torah, ki ilu melam de tiflis. So how could we say over here in the Gemara that Ish ve'isha lo yimatz'u shelo bekiyin be'ilchas tumah v'tahara? So the Hasidim answers that a woman can go seminary, learn Nach, learn Nevi'im, Ksuvim. They could learn halachas, hilchas bishul on Shabbos, all of whatever they need to know to live a life of Torah and mitzvot. You're allowed to teach a woman, but to go and bring them to Daf Yomi, open a Gemara, and go to the Ta'amim, go to the reasons, go to the plummet the depths of Torah. That's not for ladies, not for women. You're asking for, yeah. One time I came home from Koilo, we were learning Gittin, and I was trying. I said, "What are you learning?" We were just newlywed, right? She says, "What are you learning? What do you do all day?" I'm trying to explain to her. We talked about, the Gemara, the sugya was when a husband throws a get to his wife, and it lands exactly between his dalaramas and her dalaramas. So I says, "What are the chances of it? That's never going to happen." I said, "That's why I'm the one learning." Yeah. Akapanim. That's what it is. But the Isha, she knew Hilchas Tumah v'Tahara in the days of Chizkiyahu because she needed to know in order to live her life. On that generation, the Navi says, ish eglas bokar v'shtei tzoyin v'oimer roi b'mi kol mokam asher yesham 1,000 gefen b'1,000 kosef l'shomer l'shis yiyah after 1,000 gefen b'1,000 kesef l'shomer l'shis yiyah. It's going to be desolate. In other words, the Navi is saying, even though the prices of property, the prices of kramim, the prices of sadot went up in value, so Mamela, you would think people want to work their fields if it's so valuable. No, people left their fields and they came to the Beis Medrash. They came to learn Torah. Okay, now the Gemara says like this: V'oisef shalalchem, oisef achasil. That's another pasuk in Yeshaya. Remember, Yeshaya was misnabe on the defeat of Sanhedrin. Yeshaya lived slightly before, but before the days of Sanhedrin and Chizkiyahu, according to some, he lived, Afal pi she'elef gefen. I think we skipped a few words. Afal pi she'elef gefen be'elef kesef l'shamir v'l'shitiyah. Even though it's going to be expensive, it's going to be valuable, they're going to leave it desolate. V'oisef shalalchem, oisef achasil, omer lem navdi Yisrael, isfu shalalchem. Go after Sanhedrin's army was destroyed. They said, go and gather in your your loot, all the booty that Sanhedrin had. So he says, you can go collect it, go bring it home. Can we take it home for ourselves as much as we take? Like by Kriyas Yamsef, right? Koirach became wealthy. Why? Because he took more. He became very wealthy. They didn't split it equally, divide it equally amongst everyone. So they said, can we take it to ourselves as much as we can? Or do you have to split it? Doctor, what do they translate chasil over there? What is a chasil? What is that? Locust. The locust, what? They eat as much as they can. Right? They gather in as much as they can.
Eat.
Yeah. So Mamela, you also, anybody who takes as much as they can, it's yours. That's what he told them. The Gemara says, what do you mean? The moment of Aseres HaShvatim is mixed into this booty because they took the Aseres HaShvatim, they exiled them, like we saw earlier in the Gemara, maybe to Africa, to Hare Sheleg, wherever the Gemara says. But now they have their money. Can we take other people's money if a goy took it away? Amar lehem. So he said, I'll tell you like this. Amar lehem. He said, what's the pasuk he quoted? Kamashak gave him shoykik boy. Ma gave malolo malas adam etumah tahara. Just like the mikvoyis of mayim, a person can be toivel in water and transform from tumah to tahara. Also money of Klal Yisrael, if a goy takes it away, so then once you defeat the goy, you can keep that money. The Rishonim give two reasons over here in the bottom of the art scroll. He says, Yesh sovrim shudim miyichet shekibush milchama. It's only because of kibush milchama. That's a type of kinyan. A guy who conquers somebody else, another country, another land, he gets to keep it. And the other pshat is because of Yush. The guy's meyayish, yish bailim, so mamela the Jew can keep it. Okay, that is the end of that pasuk. Omer Ravuna, Eser masoyes nasa oise rosha ba'oise hayoim. That day, Sanhedrin traveled 10 journeys, 10 trips to 10 places that usually takes to travel 10 days. He traveled in it, and he made it in one day. We'll see soon. What's the rush? Shenemar bo al ayas, huh? So Shaila is if he had kvitza derech or not. I don't think he had kvitza derech. We'll see the Gemara soon. What happened was he was so excited to destroy Yerushalayim that he was able to travel fast.
He said that he conquered.
Travel faster than the usual person. He traveled faster.
He says conquered 10 מקומות בזה אחר זה ביום אחד.
Yes. Yes. Shenemar bol ayes of migron lemichmash yafket kelov avru mabor geva mol lo nochod aroma giva shol nosa tzahali kolich basgalim hakshiv elai shani anosis nodom ad meni yosh v'agezim ha'izul. So you see in these psukim it says 12 places. It doesn't say 10. The Gemara just said Ravuna said 10. Hani tuva havin asked the Gemara. If you count it, it's 12. So the Gemara says no. The first few words in the pasuk is not referring to places. Tzahali koilech basgalim. The word tzahali koilech basgalim is referring to the Navi. Navi to K'omer leknesses Yisrael. That's the Navi that prophesizes to Am Yisrael. Tzahali koilech basgalim. Yeah, you should raise your voices with joy, says the Navi. What's basgalim? You're the daughter of Galim. Knesset Yisrael is the daughter of Galim. Who's the daughter of Galim? Bitoy shel Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov. You are the daughter of Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, who are known as waves. She'asu mitzvahs kegalei hayam, because they had so many mitzvahs. Mamish kegalei hayam. Mamish, the two lines in the bottom of Tzadi Dalam Beis. So he says you should be happy because you don't have to be afraid, because b'zchutam, the Navi said you're going to be saved in the schus of Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, who are known kegalei hayam. They are known as waves of the ocean. Why are they known as waves of the ocean? She'osu mitzvahs harbe kegalei hayam, because they had so many mitzvot. Hakshivi laisha. But the next generation, the Navi says, Hakshivi, make sure you listen to the Torah and mitzvahs and to the Nevi'im, because laisha, the next oppressor is going to be Elisha. You know what Elisha is? What's Elisha? Elisha is a lion, a young lion. Who is that? You don't have to be afraid from Sanhedrin. He is like a lion. Because the lion ascended.
He's going to come later, not now.
He's going to come later, not now. But for him, you should be afraid. You don't have to be afraid from Sanhedrin, but you should be afraid from Nebuchadnezzar, who's going to come after Sanhedrin. Why should you be afraid from Nebuchadnezzar? Because at that moment in history, Maharsha explains, that moment in history, you couldn't use Schus Avos anymore. Schus Avos, the Schus Avos of Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov is a credit card that lasted up until the days of Chizkiyahu. Gemara in Shabbos Nun Hay said, Nun Hay. זה משהו אחר, אבל הגמרא בשבת, נ"ה עמוד א', the Gemara says that Schus Avos Toma, it finished. In other words, the guy says, B'schut Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Atzileni, doesn't work. It finished, you don't have Schus Avos anymore. I guess that credit card expired, that insurance policy expired, you don't have that insurance policy anymore. So what do you do instead? Instead, Rashi in Kesisa says, when Moshe Rabbeinu asked Hashem to forgive us for the Egel, he mentioned Schus Avos. So Rashi says, what did Hashem respond? Hashem responded with a Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim. Why Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim? Rashi says, because there's going to be a time, Hashem said, you're not going to be able to tap into Schus Avos anymore. Why not? It's going to expire. When did it expire? Big Machlok is the Gemara Shabbos Nun Hey. The Gemara says that it expired in the days of Chizkiyahu. Chizkiyahu fought Sanhedrin. That was the last time we used the credit card. Schus Avos expired right after that. Huh?
A debit card.
A debit card. Ooh, I like that. Mo, I stand corrected. Yeah. Yeah, the debit card you can. Yeah, the count has been depleted. Yeah, it's overdrawn.
Now we're on credit.
So now we're on credit. The question on whose credit? Whose credit are we on now? The answer is on the Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim. Now a Yid who wants Mamish to be helped, it's on the Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim. That's why Lipa Schmelzer has a song, I think. It's called Gewaldig. Yeah, because in Yiddish, when somebody's in an Eis Tzorah, he yells Gewald, Gewald, yeah, Gewald. Shlomo Kalbach, even when it's not an Eis Tzorah, it's Mamash Gewalt. But positive, right? Pesach. But a Yid who is an Eis Tzorah says Gewalt, Gewalt. He's yelling, he's screaming to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And in Yiddish, I grew up speaking Yiddish, only Yiddish. Gewaldig is when it's in a positive context, right, Davi? It's Gewaldig. So what's this Gewald, which is an Eis Tzorah, and Gewaldig, all of a sudden it's Gewaldig? The Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim, the Yud Gimel Midas at the end. You're screaming, you're yelling. So Lipa has a song, he says Gewaldig, 13 times. Gewaldig. He has a song. חבל על הזמן, לא? אנחנו מחזקים את עצמנו בכל מיני דברים. Either way, over here, the Navi says, at the time of Sanhedrin, you could tap into the debit card of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, but after that, make sure that you listen to the Nevi'im, Torah and Mitzvahs, because it's not so simple. Says the Gemara, my aniyah nosos. What does it mean aniyah nosos? Osid yirmi bechilki mesnaba lo my nosos. Tichsiv divri yirmi yom bechilkiyo men akana b'sheba nosos beretz ben yom. It's referring to yirmi. You know, it came from a nosos. Gemara asks me, Domi, how can you bring a raya that Nebuchadnezzar is the Laish? The pasuk you bring a raya from refers to Nebuchadnezzar as Aryeh, not Laish. So the Gemara says, how do you know that he is Nebuchadnezzar? Hosam Ari hoche Laish. So you can't compare. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, no, they're both lions. Shisha shemes yesh la'ari elo and ari kfir lovi Laish shachal shachatz. So over here you have 6 stages of a lion when he's really young. He's a kfir, he's a Laish, he turns into Ari. Okay, so that's all the same. The Gemara says, Yachi batzchelahum. If you take away Tzahali Kolich Basgalim, right now it's less than 10. You said he traveled to 10 places and conquered 10 places. Tzahali Kolich Basgalim, if you remove all those words, you have less than 10. The Gemara says, Avru Mabore Tartanini. Okay, you could use Avru Mabore as 2, so Mamela no problem. Says the Gemara, Mai Oidayoim Benoiv Lamoid. Wow. So he tried to get to Noiv. Sancheriv traveled to 10 different cities to hurry up to get to Yerushalayim on time. Oid hayoim b'noiv lamed. He wanted to get to Noiv, which is a city, Somach Yerushalayim. He wanted to get there. Omar Ravuna, why? Why did he want to get that day to Noiv? We know years earlier, the times of David HaMelech, Shaul killed out Noiv Ira Kohanim. He killed out an entire city of Kohanim. And there was a tremendous kitrug in Am Yisrael, right? Why did they stand up, protest, demonstrate? And that kitrug remained, and again, it has an expiration date. The last day that the Mekatrig was able to be Mekatrig on that Aveira was Oto Hayom. That day that Sancheriv was traveling to Yerushalayim. So the Gemara says, Omrani Kaldoi, his stargazers told him, if you still speed up the journey, and you rush it, you put the pedal to the metal, and you get there on time, you'll be able to conquer Yerushalayim. V'iloi lo yichotle. The Ochlaner says, what's this day? What was so special about that day? Why that day was there a kitrig? The Orchel says an amazing idea. We're approaching Pesach. He says like this, because you know which day that was? That was Erev Pesach. Because we know, one of the events in history that took place on Pesach night was the miracle of Sanhedrin of Melech Ashur. How the Malach came and killed out the entire army. That was Pesach night. So what happened was, we'll see. He waited. He didn't do it that day. But that day, the day prior, was really Erev Pesach. Erev Pesach, what happens Erev Pesach? Erev Pesach is the busiest day in the Beis HaMikdash. Why is it the busiest day in the Beis HaMikdash? Because every other day, people bring karbanot. They bring a toida, they bring a shlomim, they bring a oil or a chatas. On Erev Pesach, who brings karbanos? All of Am Yisrael. Why? Everybody's to bring a karban Pesach. So what do you need? You need a big staff. But since Noiv Ira Kohanim were killed out, so they were understaffed at the Beis HaMikdash. So every Erev Pesach, the Kitri came out and they said, look, they can't even makriv the Korban Pesach because of the chet that they did, because they killed out an entire city of Kohanim. They can't be makriv it. So every Erev Pesach, that Kitri came back. So they told him, Oto Hayom, that Erev Pesach, and they're not going to be staffed properly, they're going to be understaffed. Now you have a Kitrig. Do it now, and this way you'll be able to conquer Yerushalayim. Unbelievable. So the Gemara says, what happened was, Orcha de Boila Saguya Basora Yoima, Saga Bechad Yoima. He rushed so fast that he made it all in one day to get there to Yerushalayim. But what happened was, Kimotel Yerushalayim, when he came to Yerushalayim, Shodelei Bestarkei, Adesolik V'Yosef Melove Shura. He made a tower out of matzaot. Not matzot, matzaot. What are matzaot? Matzaot are like sheets, mattresses. Yeah. And he made a big tower, and he was able to see into above the chomat ha'ir, above the wall of the city of Yerushalayim. He's able to look inside, and look what he said. He said, Ad chazia lekulei Yerushalayim, ki chazia ezuter be'enai. He says, you know how big Yerushalayim was in Chizkiyahu's days? Mamash. You know, they say, archaeologists are still uncovering, ancient Jerusalem, and they're saying now, they're estimating that Yerushalayim, ancient Jerusalem, Bizman Chizkiyahu, it expanded since David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech built it, but Bizman Chizkiyahu at that time, Yerushalayim was no bigger than 35 to 45 acres. Gans Yerushalayim. Which means, like if you go to Disneyland over here in Anaheim, that's around 85 acres. It's half of Disneyland. Huh? Lahavdul Elef Alfa Avdolis. It's half of Disneyland. I was just in the Vatican, right? The Vatican is the smallest country in the world. Yeah, it's 110 acres. A third of that was Yerushalayim. So when Sanhedrin took one look at Yerushalayim, he said, Mamish, such a small piece of land, you think I need a Toh Hayom, I still need to do an Erev Pesach? Yeah. So the Gemara says, this is why I took my whole army, and I conquered all those countries. From all my history and all my wins in wars, this is the smallest country, the smallest city in the world. All of it come under the Reisha. So he shook his head, and he waved his hand, Amri, but his generals told him, let's do it right now, don't wait. The sun is setting. Amar lehu. Sanhedrin arrogantly said, Tamhisu, listen, we're all tired now, we traveled a long way. You're all going to bring me gol me'arag minei. You're going to bring me a piece of that chomat ha'ir. We're going to get it to Yerushalayim. We're going to conquer it. It says the Gemara, miyad, v'ayi ba'alaylahu. Everybody went to sleep. V'ayetze malach Hashem. An angel went out in the middle of the night. V'ayach b'machne Ashur me'er shmoyne v'chamishem el v'yashkimu b'voike v'hine kulam p'gorim meisim. All of them died that night. Omar Rav Papa, hayru d'amri inchi bos dina. If you go to sleep with judgment in the middle of a war, if you go to sleep in the middle, batal dina, the war is over. This is why I hold that the worst marriage advice I was ever given is, don't go to sleep angry. Go to sleep angry. You go to sleep the next morning, be'erev yolan bechi v'laboyker rina. Yeah, worst marriage advice. Everybody is tired, hangry. Go to sleep. The next morning you laugh, you smile. I think Gemara says, bas dina, you go to sleep with his judgment. Batal dina, the next morning you wake up, it's over. Sanhedrin is just Rabbeinu Shalom before you go to sleep. The doctor who says Rabbeinu Shalom before you go to sleep, he's moichel everybody. Yeah. You know what Moshe Rabbeinu said to Korach? The first word Moshe Rabbeinu uttered to Korach when Korach was fighting, you know what he said? Vayishma Moshe vayipel al panav. First he prayed, and then he said, Mocha. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Go to sleep. Buzz dina but.
Anything, even a business deal, people be impulsive.
Wait. Sleep on it. Buzz dina batil dina. That's the great piece of advice. If you came just for this advice, you got your money's worth. So the Gemara weiter. V'yishbi b'noiv. Asher be'lida yarafa mishkol keina shlosh meis mishkol chaysh v'chogu chadosho. V'yoyim alakas as David. The Gemara says now the whole story with Nov Ira Kohanim, because David HaMelech was punished for Nov Ira Kohanim. David HaMelech didn't kill Nov Ira Kohanim. Who killed Nov Ira Kohanim? Shaul. David didn't kill, and yet he was punished. Why? The Gemara is going to tell the story. Yishbi was the brother of Goliath. He was the daughter of Arpa. Now, Yishbi he had a I think it's called a sheath, where you put the, what? He was a giant. And his sheath weighed shloish meis mishkal nechoishes, and he had it on a brand new belt. Vayoyim alakas David, and he wanted to kill David. The reason why Yishbi was almost able to kill David HaMelech was because the story of Nov Ira Kohanim. The Gemara is going to tell the story. Unbelievable. Until when is the Aveira of Nov Ira Kohanim going to be Tamun b'yadcha? Listen to Ben Yoyada. You hear the words of the Gemara? Tamun b'yadcha. Ben Yoyada Omer, Kol Avera Shel Ben Adam, Sartut, it goes on your hand. The people who know Chachmas Hayad, you show them your hand, and they can tell you what you did. Yeah, you go to the big Mekubalim. So the Ben Yoyada says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, in your hand, you have Tamun b'yadcha, literally, on your hand, you have it hidden. Why is it hidden? Because a big Avera that you did intentionally, it causes a very clear line on the palm in your hand. But if it's like something that was unintentional, it was a shoygig, that's tamun. It's hidden over there. What was the Aveira? Because al yodcha ne'erga Nov Ira Kohanim. Through you, Nov Ira Kohanim was killed. Al yodcha nitrak doeg adoimi, and because of you, doeg adoimi would not have a chelik leilam haba. Al yodcha ne'ergu Shaul shleishes bonov, and because of you, Shaul and his 3 sons died. Ritzoincha yichlu zaracho oitimoser biyad oyev. So I just want to give you a brief overview. What did David HaMelech do? Why was it his fault that Nov Ira Kohanim was killed? The answer is because he ran from Shaul, and when he ran from Shaul, he didn't have any food, and he came to the city of Nov Ira Kohanim, and he lied, and he told them that he's on a secret mission from Shaul HaMelech, and he needs food. And Ira Kohanim said, we only have food that's star, the Kohanim, Truma. So he says it's okay. We weren't with an isha. We're toir legamri. We can eat your food, and they gave him food. And what happened was when Shaul heard about it, he said we're going to have to kill all of Nov Ira Kohanim. So David HaMelech, it was really his fault because he lied to them. Because al yodoi Nov Ira Kohanim was killed, which is amazing. Because the Noda B'Yehuda has a shayla based on this Gemara. The Noda B'Yehuda says, let's say they asked him a shayla. An employer had a very old employee. And he wanted to send this old employee to go on a job somewhere far away. And the wife said, don't send my husband. He's weak, he's old, don't send him. The employer sent him anyway, and he ended up dying. So he wanted to know from the Noda B'Yehuda that I have to do teshuvah. Because through me, because I gave him the job, he's my employee, I have a right to ask him to go do the job. But let's say you hire an employee, and he does a job for you, and he gets killed on the job. Are you chayiv or not? As long as the job was rational, was logical. So Noda B'Yehuda says, based on this Gemara, l'chayru you could say, David HaMelech, he wasn't the one who actually killed Nov Ira Kohanim. But because of him, Nisbav al Yod, there was a groma that Nov Ira Kohanim was killed. So they're done over here whether you need teshuvah, if you had a hand in some plan that somebody got killed because you sent him somewhere and he ended up being, do you need teshuvah or not? They want to bring a raya from over here, from David HaMelech, but some say it's not a raya from here because David HaMelech lied. He lied. He shouldn't have lied. He should have had betachon and amunah in Hashem. Should have betachon and amunah in Hashem that Hashem is going to save him from his enemy. And that's why Hashem said to him, I give you a choice. Your teshuvah needs to be either you're going to fall in the hand of your enemy. It's not going to be Shaul, it's going to be somebody else, as we'll see. Or all of your children will be killed because Nov Ira Kohanim don't have any descendants anymore. All their children were killed. So it's Mida Keneged Mida. You choose. Either you're going to fall into the hands of your enemy, or all your children will be killed. By the way, amazing story. Joey Newcomb just came out with a new song, with a new album. And one of the songs he has is called 177. So he calls me today, he says, yo, do you listen to my album? I said, yeah, I listened to some of it. Actually, it's Matzah Shabbos, sitting with my kids, I was listening to the album. He says, did you hear the song 177? I said, no. He says, listen to it and call me back. I said, okay. I'm listening to the song, and the whole idea of the song is, what's 177? The whole idea of the song is Emunah B'tochen. Have Emunah B'tochen. A person has Emunah B'tochen in this world is like he lives in Gan Eden. And at the end of the song, the punchline of the song is that Gan Eden is the Gematria, the same Gematria of Emunah B'tochen, which is 177. So, unbelievable. He says, I call him back, he's like, okay, listen to this beautiful song. He says, I just got a message from a family, we're going to keep him anonymous, that said they listened to the song, they never met Joey Newcomb, they never, really had any connection with him, but they had a child, their youngest daughter passed away tragically at a young age, and his mamish right before Purim, and they were tzabrachen, and then he came out with the album. So I guess they were listening for chizuk, okay? They were listening to the song. And it just so happens to be that they live on 177 Clifton Avenue. That's their address. And they felt like it was mamish a sign from Hashem, Emunah B'tachon. So the Aveira of David HaMelech was that he should never have lied. He shouldn't have lied to save himself and endanger an entire city. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I have to give you the Midah Keneged Midah here. So he said, Rabbeinu Shaloylam, Mutav emaser biyad oyev v'lo yichle zari. I'd rather that you put me and kill me, put me in the hands of the enemy, rather than, finish off my descendants.
Send his brother to save him.
Oh, we'll see right now. The Gemara is going to tell the story. Beautiful. But the Mefarshim say that David HaMelech's answer to Hashem reflected and echoed Hashem's midah. Why? Because Hashem is ve'esa eschem al kanfei nesharim. Rashi says, why al kanfei nesharim? Because the eagle puts his life on the line and puts the kids on top. So David HaMelech also said, kill me and I'll put my kids on top, don't punish my kids.
But why should His kids suffer from his sin? What's the halacha?
They're his descendants.
But why should they be at fault for what he did?
Now we're getting, that's Erech HaPayim. For 4 generations. Hashem still, okay? Huh? What does that mean? English?
If the father sins, the descendants will
get
the consequences.
Caught up in the consequences. That's what happened. Pesach is asking a question which I don't know the answer to, but it's definitely a big conversation. Eli Cohen, but his sons actually were not noyeg the way they were supposed to. It wasn't.
Generations.
Generations after. Abai and Rava were descendants from them. That's why everybody died young. Everybody dies young. Excellent, very good.
They say the Tawil family is descendants of Avi Cohen. And I was with a guy Tawil in shiur, but I remember that whole thing that he was telling me something about that the curse, whatever, they had to do something to remove.
No way. They date back to the. They have a tree back to Eli. They're Kohanim. Wow. I got to get that Maisa. I got to hear more about that story. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now we get the story of how David HaMelech was almost killed by the enemy. Yom Echad Nafek Liskoir Bazoi. He went out hunting. Now this is a very difficult line of the Gemara. The Rebbe Yehuda says you're not allowed to go hunting. Right? How did David HaMelech go hunting? You're allowed to go hunting? Yeah? He says it's Maisa Esav. Maisa Nimrod. Yeah? Those people go hunting. A Jew doesn't go hunting unless it's for parnasa reasons. You want to get the skin, you want to skin it, leather, you want to sell it. You're allowed to do hunting. The Rebbe says, but Stam a Yid, and he asks on this Gemara, how did David HaMelech go hunting? Stam hunting.
Who goes hunting?
Who goes hunting?
Only Shikor kings.
Shikor kings go hunting. Yeah.
Who go to
answer that question.
He asked the question on this Gemara.
Yeah.
What?
Because a king has to practice his talents.
It was higher purpose.
So he has to know how to be a warrior.
So there was higher purpose.
So you have
to
go hunting?
Okay, we'll end on that note. Yashikoyach Chevra tomorrow 9 o'clock. We're thinking of starting this year earlier next week. I am speaking to some of you. I don't know if the doctor will be able to do it or Tzvi, but it would be amazing if we can actually get the daf in one go.